Welcome to Defi Crypto today. And what we're going to talk today about is DeFi audits and reviews. Okay, what does that mean? Those are tools, these are websites where we go and people have reviewed either the code on DeFi platforms, like Aave, PancakeSwap, and so on, to check if they found anything malicious in the code where there's a high risk of you losing your money, okay, for instance. And there are reviews as well that look at everything around the code, like the people that are involved. Is there like a white paper published? All kinds of things to make it easy to do your due diligence when you're trying to choose a DeFi platform to invest your crypto on it. Okay, I mean, we need this because almost every week there are dozens of new crypto projects, new DeFi projects that come out. Why? Because it's not that difficult to create a clone of a DeFi platform because the code is public. Okay, it's open source. Most of the projects are open sourced. If I wanted to make a PancakeSwap copy, it would probably just take me a few days, and I'm not a programmer. Okay, I could set up something that would work, probably not very well. Okay, and it could be just a clone of PancakeSwap, and if I was a better programmer and an evil programmer, I could hack the code and probably find a way to suck the money out and do a rug pull like some people have done. Okay, I don't plan on doing that. Okay, I'm a nice guy. But I mean, it's not that difficult, okay, to create a rug pull. Okay, every day, not every day, but every month you're going to see cases of rug pulls or of exploits, like hackers went in the system and found a flaw in the code, and they ran their own code and they took a bunch of money or a bunch of cryptos. Okay, all right, so let's look at an actual auditor. Okay, you have to understand these are not financial auditors. It's not like, let's say you put your money at the bank and the bank is regulated by the government. The government says, okay, you got to publish your books and you have to hire a financial auditor to check the books and make sure that everything is up to snuff. Okay, it's different because DeFi is open. So you can see inside what's going on. You can see the code. You can see where the money is coming and going, because blockchain is an open book. It's an open ledger. You can see everything happen. Every few seconds you see new transactions pop up on the blockchain. Okay, it's available for everybody. So financially, it's not that difficult to figure out what's going on. In a bank, it's a closed system. Okay, they keep secrets. Okay, traditional financial institutions are centralized and they keep things secret, and it's done by law. Okay, because it's a trust system. Okay, you trust your money to the bank because there's a law that regulates the banks, and the law is if the banks go against the law, then you can go to the court, and you trust the judges because they're part of the government and you voted for the people in power, and so it's a trust system. Okay, DeFi is trustless. We don't trust the people, we trust the code. Okay, and that's why we need people to check the code and see if there are visible flaws in the code. it's a different kind of job, and it's a little bit more difficult because you need to understand the logic of the code, and you need really experienced programmers to understand that and perform the audits. It's not something I could do. I'm not a programmer. Okay, but it gives you an idea. Okay, you don't need to trust the people as much. Okay, it would be nice to know who the people are, but many DeFi projects are run by a bunch of anonymous people. But the code's public, so we can look in the code, we can see how the transactions happen. So we rely on that. Okay, and to help us figure out if the code's good, we have auditors, and these auditors check the code, and some other people perform reviews on the codes. They're not official auditors, official code auditors, but they check the code by themselves, and they figure out, okay, this project looks fine, or we find this flaw in the project, whatever. So let's look at the first one I wanted to show you today. It's called Certic. It's a very popular security audit company for DeFi protocols. They've done hundreds of audits, and they have pretty extensive websites. I talk a little bit about this in the book, the free book. Remember, you can download the free book. But I'll describe a little bit what they do here. Okay, so if you're running a DeFi project, or you're planning on running a DeFi project, you can request an audit. You need to pay these people, you need to pay Certic, and they'll do that. Okay. Now, they also have this neat system called Skynet that is running a security intelligence. It's a 24/7 security intelligence engine. Essentially, it scans the code of a number of DeFi projects live. You can actually see the scanning happening right here. Okay. So they're checking that the code looks clean, okay, that nothing's been changed, and it looks pretty. Okay, and it's telling you, okay, we're scanning right now Orion protocol, and this is what's happening. Orion protocol, they're being scanned and so on. They finished, now they're doing Hodge finance and so on. So that's the list of obviously, if you're running a DeFi project and you want this service, you pay for it. It's not free, I don't think. All right, so what's interesting here? Let's say you find an interesting project and you want to know if it's been audited, and you want to read the audit, and you should read audits. Okay, even if you don't understand everything, it doesn't matter. You can check what the auditors think. If the auditors think, okay, well, these are all red flags, and the programming team has not fixed them, well, what do you think? Okay, typically the auditing firm will check the code and have some red flags, and then they'll contact the team and say, hey, we found these errors or these bugs or these things could be exploited. You should take a look at this and fix them. And typically, a serious team of program, and if the programming team is serious enough, they'll check it out and fix the bugs. Okay. So, and that's the point of doing an audit. I mean, sometimes you program, and programming can be very complex, and you don't necessarily notice the bugs. Okay, it depends on your level of experience too, but we trust that the Certic people have the experience to understand this, and that's why we ask them to perform audits. Okay, so we can search new projects that we're interested in here. So let's say we look at Aave, popular project. So this is Aave. Okay, they have a security score of 87 according to their criteria. Okay, the audit report is here. We could download it. We can view it in PDF here. And let's see. They run Skynet on it as well, and gives you an analysis of various criteria. Okay, the social sentiment, like what are people saying online about it, and so on and so on and so on. Okay, so it gives you a general idea. So it's pretty good. 97%. That's nearly perfect according to their criteria. 87% here for security score, and down here it's the general sentiment analysis. All right. Okay, you're gonna cut here because I need to change my mouse. Forgot to change my mouse. Okay, we're back. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. Oopsie, went too far. Here we go. Okay, so now you have a list of projects that have been audited and that are on a continuous scanning. Okay, and first one on the list, PancakeSwap, and an AV, 1inch, Binance, Paxos, Tether, and so on and so on and so on. Okay, so it gives you an idea. They have their score, and the green ones should be pretty good. Okay, according to Certic. Now they have they say what they're called leading projects, and then here they've got the projects on the Binance Smart Chain. So that's what you can find here, and so on. Okay, now I'm going to look at another website now. It's called RugDoc. RugDoc, the name came from rug pulling. So it's a doctor and that you go to see about rug pulling. Okay, so that's a logo here. What's interesting is that here they have reviewed. These are reviews. They check the code, and they have their own set of criteria. They're different from Certic. They're not a full-fledged auditing firm as far as I know. But it's quite a useful site. So you have different chains, blockchain networks here. You have Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, Phantom, Echo, Avalanche, and KCC. So if you're planning on using a DeFi protocol on Polygon, you can search by network, or you can just look at the list here and you see, well, this one doesn't look very good, right? It says high risk. High risk, according to RugDoc, is very, very, very risky. Okay, very high chance that you put your crypto there and they're gonna take it away from you. Okay. So they explain why they gave this rating. Okay. There's a hard rug code not found, but the project is high risk for the following reasons. Master Chief allows infinite minting of PMNR, whatever that is. I guess that's their coin. Separately from the transfer, this cannot be fixed. Master Chief does not account for transfer tax on the PNR pool. This can be exploited to drain the whole contract. So you see, they could perform here a total rug pull according to what they found in the code. 100% deposit fees are possible on a new pool. So basically, you deposit your money and they could charge you 100% fee. Okay, so anyway, I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but there's a whole lot of fees, and like see, 5% transfer fee, maximum 10%, 2% anti-whale fee, and so on. Okay, avoid in practice. I avoid any site that says high risk like this, because they look like, in my opinion, they look like crooks. Okay, so you make your own choices, but you know, that's my opinion here. Now, you see that they have different levels. They have high risk here. You have medium risk, which is still very risky if you read all the details. You have several that have some risk, so the risk is a little bit more tolerable. And then you have low risk. Low risk is almost the best possible rating you can get on RugDoc. There's not a lot of protocols that they find that have, that are very so excellent that the risk would be lower than low risk. Okay, but from my feeling, okay, what I would stick to low risk projects. Okay, especially if they're brand new. Okay, see, this one says new. It's probably a very young project. If you want to risk your money, use low risk. It doesn't mean that your money is safe. Okay, it means that the programming seems to be good enough that it's not designed to steal your money. It doesn't mean that you're not going to lose money investing in those pools, in the pools of that protocol. Okay, there's still other risks involved. Okay, we're talking about price fluctuation risks. We're talking about impermanent loss. We're talking about all kinds of things. Okay, but at least, and also we don't know. There could be hackers, okay, that could look into the code and find bugs or weaknesses that RugDoc didn't find. That if Platinum was audited by a Certic or another firm, that those auditors did not find. You never know, okay? These things are not certain, okay? I mean, it's like a bank, and the bank has security guards, they have security systems, they have cameras, security cameras and everything. There are people there with guns and whatnot. They have a vault with, a security system and everything in place, but people can, super smart people can still find ways to steal money from a bank, okay? There's still ways to do that. Okay, it's very difficult. Okay, but it's still possible. Okay, so that's what I'm saying here. The code could be really nice. Okay, there could be no obvious faults in the code. The team might be a good team, but somebody might find a weakness somewhere. Okay, it's always possible. Okay, and then there's the other risk I talked about. Price fluctuations happen every day. You never know. You could start a token today and at $10, and the next day it's down to a cent. Whatever. These things happen. You can always. There's always some risk somewhere. Now, let's look at a project. I want to show you. That each auditor and reviewer, okay, has different points of view on the same project. Okay, so we're going to go and browse Binance, Smart Chain. Okay. All right. So see, you have all these new projects, and this one, Hamster Swap, high risk. Moon Doge, high risk. Don't put your money there. Don't put your money there. Do what you want, but I wouldn't put my money there. Okay, so I want to show you Pancake Swap. Pancake. Pancake. Are you coming? Oh, come on. It's not showing. Okay. All right. So, according to RugDoc, Pancake Swap has the least risk. Okay. Certic thinks Pancake Swap's great. Okay, they've got a very good rating. Remember, if we look at Certic, where are we? See, Certic, puts pancake swap at 91%. Okay, so they think pancake swap is great. Rugdoc also thinks that pancake swap is great. Okay, the lowest risk. But these folks focus mostly on the code. Okay, so the code's probably quite fine. I trust those guys, okay, that they probably did a pretty good audit on the code, okay, both of them. Now, let's look at one of my favorite sites for evaluating DeFi projects, okay, and these guys are tough. These guys are really tough. They don't do it the same way. They have their own method. Their reviews are very extensive and they don't cut corners, okay? So if you're risk averse, you might be interested in looking at this. So let's go here. It's called DeFi Safety. Highly recommended. I highly recommend you look at this because they have a very comprehensive system. We'll look at it a little bit. They have a very comprehensive system of criteria, okay, to evaluate projects, DeFi projects, and they're tough. They're very tough. I like them. Okay, so you can see here they've got all kinds of projects, and a lot of them are failing. So the green. See, like Balancer has got 100%. That's amazing. Okay. Very few. I'll sort them in a second. But very few projects get 100%. Okay. Basically, for DeFi safety, the passing mark is 70%. If you have less than 70%, you fail, according to them. Okay. According to their criteria. And you'll see they don't like pancake swap so much. So let's search pancake. Pancake. Where are we? If I can spell, it will help. All right. So we've got pancake swap here, who has a miserable 42% mark. And Pancake Bunny, which is not a bad protocol in my view, but I'm not an expert like these fine folks. So Pancake Swap is one of the top DeFi projects out there. There are billions. I think it's over $6 billion invested there. So a lot of people are trusting them. Are they making a mistake? I don't know. According to DeFi safety, there's a lot of risk, according to them. Okay, so we're going to look at this. And but let's look at the good news first. Okay, let's look at which ones are the best projects. So let's put highest first. And you see, there are quite a few excellent projects out there. Okay. You got Bouncer, which is top of the class with 100%, teacher's pet, And then you got Compound, we've got great 97%, Mstable, Bancor, Gnosis, Uniswap with 94. That's one of the biggest DeFi projects on the planet right now. And you got Amplefort, Yearn, DXDY, Aave, which is one of my favorite sites. And Gnosis, Barnbridge, and Pull Together. I don't even know those guys. Anyway, and then you got like light green, which are still pretty good. They all passed. They all managed to get. So it's a little bit like these guys get an A. These guys get, I don't know, a B plus or something. These guys get a B. And these are the 70s, so they still pass, but it's like kind of a B minus. And then you have the failures here. Well, I would say if they're light green, they would be at least in the B minus, in my humble opinion. And then you got those that got a D. And these are the Fs. Oh my God, there's so many. And these are like total catastrophes. Okay. So, so it's worth a look. It's worth a look. It opened my mind when I discovered this website. It opened my mind to a different way of looking at projects. I think it's a very serious team that are working at DeFi safety, and their idea is to help DeFi project programmers and developers excel at safety. Okay, and they provide a ton of information for them, and I'll show you a little bit. So let's have a look at what they're about. Okay, so they have a scoring system. It's you can see here they have 22 questions. Okay, as far as I remember, most of them are just yes and no. And they have a scoring system that they explain a little bit here. Okay, so I'll just show you quickly. The questions are divided in 5 segments. Okay, you have the code and the team. So the executing code verification, the documentation. Is there software documentation for the code that's running the show? Is there a test strategy for that code? Okay, are they testing this? Then you have to check the software security audits and the bug bounty. Do they have a bug bounty? A bug bounty is the best projects typically will offer money to hackers, white hat hackers, okay, and say, guys, check our code. If you find a way to exploit our code, if you find flaws in our code, tell us and we'll give you money. Okay, so because no matter how good you are at programming, someone else is better. Someone else understand and will see the code from a different way. Somebody will figure out something you didn't figure out on how to take the money and run. Okay, and with a bug bounty, basically, if you're a hacker, okay, if you could be a good hacker, okay. And you like to look at ways to break the code, you know, and find a way to go and to exploit a system, and you get rewarded for exposing it. You know, I think it's a good way to use your skills instead of, you know, stealing the money. Anyway. The next section is access control, so review of public information about the admin access and so on. Okay, so they calculate the percentage about how many points you can get over, how many points you got over the total possible points. Okay, and they check first of all if you have software repositories. Okay. They check the code in the team. So for instance, I'll show you a few questions. Are the executing code addresses readily available? Okay, they get 20% if that's true. Okay, so they explain what that means, and they also explain how to improve the score. So let's say you have a project and you get evaluated by these guys and they give you a really bad score. They explain to you, okay, this is how you can fix it. Okay, and I believe if you click here, you probably get more explanations and so on. So is the code actively used? Okay, is people using this? Okay, is there a public software repository? Is there development history visible? Is the team public or anonymous? A lot of projects have anonymous teams. Okay, PancakeSwap's anonymous. Doesn't mean they're bad. Okay, it means that it's going to lower their score here. Okay, because essentially, it doesn't mean that because you're anonymous that you necessarily want to do bad things. But it doesn't, it doesn't help boost the confidence, okay, of the reviewers. Is there a white paper? Well, a lot of projects don't have a single white paper, or the white papers suck, okay? So you need to look at the white paper and say, okay, what is this project about? Why should I put my hard-earned tokens here instead of another project that's been established for 2 years? Okay, like Aave, for instance, that's about 2 years, right? So, Aave is an excellent project. It's very, very, very safe. Well, very safe. It's very low risk, okay? I should always say low risk and not safe. It's very low risk. Why should I start with, I don't know, bubblegum swap that might be opening somewhere this week, okay? Anybody can open up a bubblegum swap, okay? Look, it might be a great project. But, you need to be able to evaluate. You need to be able to do your due diligence. Do they have a white paper? What's special about bubblegum that makes it better? What problem does it solve that Aave is not solving? Or that another project is not solving? Okay, you need to know that. All right, are the basic software functions documented? So whatever happens in the project, is that explained, okay? Like this function does this, okay? When you put money in the liquidity pool, this is what's happening, okay? Does a software function documentation fully cover the deployed contracts? So sometimes you have software documentation, you got 20 contracts, but only 10 of them are documented. What's that about? Okay. And so on. I'm not going to read through all 22. You can do that on your own. But these are, you understand it, it's a very extensive process. Okay, a little bit, it's a lot more extensive than what you're going to find at Certic or at RugDoc. RugDoc typically has just a small paragraph. Okay, if you look at various projects, let's say we have Aave here. Okay, they're going to explain why Aave got 91% and not 100%, for instance. Okay, Aave is great protocol. Okay, one of the best, and that's why it's got 91. And they explain all this. Obviously, there's a disclaimer. Okay, this is not to mean that you should put your money in Aave or anything like that, and it's not to tell you that this is safe. Okay, there's always risk. There's always risk, but the risk seems to be lower when you got very, very, very good reviews like this that are very extensive, that look at many aspects of the project. Okay, so I highly recommend that you check DeFi safety. Okay. They look very, in my eyes, they look very serious, and the way they review projects, okay, opens up your mind on what can happen, okay, and also what you should expect from a DeFi project, okay. I mean, some projects seem to have been done like rather quickly, okay, and they didn't seem to check, many of the items on that list that we just saw. Okay, and perhaps if you're interested in project X, okay, you could contact the team and say, hey, can you get yourself reviewed by DeFi Safety? I want an extensive review of your project. And if your favorite project doesn't have a very good score, maybe you can contact them also and say, guys, could you improve your score? I want to invest money, or I already have money invested there. Okay, so that's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you find this interesting, please like and ring the bell. And hey, download my free book. It's free. I'm giving you a free book, okay? It explains my strategy on how to not lose too much money on crypto, okay? I explain my strategy on investing with the least amount of risk that I could find. All right, so have a good day. Bye.